Well, good morning, and how are you doing? As you probably recall, unless you're getting a little old and forgetful, this past Wednesday was St. Patrick's Day. So I thought we would take a look at who Patrick was. Well, Patrick, during his life, the latter part of his life, was the Bishop of Northern Ireland and missionary to the Irish. Where did he start out? Well, Patrick was born in England in 390 AD. His father was a town councillor and a deacon in the church. Patrick's grandfather was a priest. Now, before you start thinking, wait a minute, there was a time in the Catholic Church that priests were allowed to be married, and it was not unusual. I can't remember. I'd have to go back and do a little history hunt to remember when it was that the papacy decided that priests should be celibate and single, but prior to that time, indeed, priests were allowed to be married. In fact, the very first pope, if you will, Peter, the one whom Jesus named, St. Peter or Cephas, he was married, remember? Jesus healed his mother-in-law. So there you have it. So the Catholic Church hasn't always had priests that were celibate and single. There were times when they were married. So yes, indeed, St. Patrick's grandfather was a married man, but a priest in the church. This is back in the, like I say, back in the 300s, right? 300 AD. So, as a youth, Patrick was captured by Irish pirates who took him back to Ireland, where he was sold as a slave. He served his master as a slave for 6 years, taking care of his master's herds. It is believed that during this time, Patrick grew in his Christian faith and became a man of prayer. In the 6th year of his slavery, Patrick had a dream in which he was told that he would soon return to his own country. Whether he escaped or was set free is unclear, but he made his way to a seaport over 200 miles from where he had been held captive and persuaded some sailors to take him with them. By this means, he eventually made it back to England and his family. Patrick was much changed by his time in servitude, and upon returning home, sought and received training and some education, leading to his ordination as a priest. His education was rudimentary and not that of a higher formal education, and this shows in his writings. He did learn to read and write Latin, and was able to study and learn the Latin translation of the Bible. During this time, the Pope appointed Palladius as the first bishop to those Irish who believed in Christ. Palladius's mission did not last long, met with little success, and was concentrated mostly in the southeastern area of Ireland. In 435 AD, at the age of 35, Patrick was appointed to succeed Palladius, and he returned to Ireland. Patrick set up his see, which is the bishop's headquarters, if you will, at Argama. From here, he made missionary journeys across the north and western parts of Ireland. His main concern was to preach the gospel and abolish paganism, idolatry, and sun worship. He encouraged the Irish to become nuns and monks. He was loved and known for his simple nature and pastoral care. It is said that he was always acutely aware of his shortcomings in the area of education, and affected deeply by his time as a slave. The historical Patrick became the Patrick of legend, who is credited with driving the snakes out of Ireland and many other heroic deeds. He died at the age of 71, although his place of death and burial are not known for certain. Today he is the most popular of the Irish saints, and his feast day, March 17th, is celebrated in much of the free world. So there you go, it's a little bit about St. Patrick. The patron saint of Ireland was an Englishman. How's that for a shocker? But I'm sure since he spent from the age of 35 to the age of 71 in Ireland, he probably was just as much an Irishman at heart as he was an Englishman by birth. Alrighty, are you ready for a crooner? No? Oh, okay. Oh, pardon? Oh, you are? You do want a groaner. Okay, well, let's have a groaner. Well, today we're going to look at something. How do you know when you're getting old? Well, here's some clues. You can tell when you're getting older when you sit down in a rocking chair and you can't get it started. You burn the midnight oil and it's only 8 o'clock. You look forward to a dull evening. Your knees buckle, but your belt won't. Your little black book contains only names ending with MD. You decide to procrastinate, but just never have the energy to get around to it. Dialing long distance wears you out. You walk with your head held high because you're trying to get used to your bifocals. You sink your teeth into a good juicy steak and they stay there. So those are some of the signs that you're getting older. Well, I hope you've enjoyed today's little video. Now you know a little bit more about St. Patrick, and next year when St. Patrick's Day rolls around, you'll know just exactly who it is you're celebrating. A rather humble, poorly educated man who, at the age of 35, became the Bishop to Ireland and a missionary to them as well. So I hope you've enjoyed today's story, and we'll tune in on Tuesday for Tuesdays with the Pilgrim. And next Friday, I'm not sure what we'll be doing, some cooking maybe. But until then, take care, stay safe, and God bless.